This is my crispy roast pork with cherry chutney. Now this is a rack of pork and I've let it dry out on the outside. This is one of the most important things when you want crackling. Now this is a rack of pork which comes from the loin. You can see it's got some of the rib bones here, and what I've done is I've Frenched the bones. You can get your butcher to do this. What your butcher will do is take the meat off from around the bones and just clean them up nicely so they roast up beautifully. And it helps give you a guide when you go to carve the pork. Now you can see the skin is really dry. That is really important. The best way to do this is to take it out of the packaging, pop it on a plate and into the fridge. 24, 48 hours and the skin will dry out beautifully, and that will make sure it crackles up beautifully. Now the next thing you need to do is to score the outside of the skin. You want to release the moisture and allow that fat to crackle. Now with a sharp knife, making sure that you're pushing the knife away from you, I scratch the outside of that skin. Now make sure you do this going away from your hand. The last thing you want to do is score a nice big gash to yourself. Now I run the knife over the top here and you can see it goes in quite deep. Don't worry about that because that skin will crackle up beautifully. Now of course, if you're scared about doing this yourself, you could always ask your butcher to do it. But for me, why would you let your butcher have all of the fun? It's all about learning to do these simple jobs. Now the other thing I'm going to do is sear the outside of the pork so it's nice and golden on the outside and seasoned up to perfection. Now I'll put some salt and pepper on the outside of my pork. If it looks like I'm putting a lot on, I am, because it's just on the outside. The inside has got no salt on it. So I want to make sure there's plenty of salt on all of those exposed areas. Now salt loves meat and meat loves salt, and that is another perfect pairing. You've got to make sure you put plenty of salt on there. Now a little bit of olive oil in the pan here because I want to sear the outside of the pork. And what you want to hear is that nice sizzle. We want to get it nice and golden brown, and then when I pop it in the oven, it'll crackle up beautifully. You can see the pork rack is nice and golden on the bottom and each side. Now the top here isn't crackled yet, but believe me, it won't take long at all. I've just thrown some apples in there. That'll form a base and they'll cook down nice and gently and soak up some of those pork apple juices. Now the outside here, I want to get it crackled up and I'm going to use the oven. I could put it skin side down in the pan, but I find the best crackle always comes from a nice hot oven. Now my oven is preheated to 225 degrees Celsius. I've oiled the top of the pork skin here and I sprinkle some salt on here. Plenty of salt on the outside because that will help to form up the crackling. Make sure you cover every square millimeter of that pork skin with the salt. Then all you need to do is grab this, pop it straight back on top there, and then into the oven. As I said, 225 degrees Celsius, and I'll cook it for 25 minutes. It'll crackle up beautifully, and then I'll turn it down to 160 degrees until the inside gets to 72 degrees Celsius, and I'll use a digital thermometer. That way I know it's accurate and I get it perfect every single time. Into the oven we go. Have a look at that. The most important thing, once you've roasted your pork, you let it rest for at least half the cooking time. I've let this rest for about half an hour. Now this is what you see if you have a look at this thing called social media, which is on your phone. This is what everyone's doing. It's nothing for me because I get that every single time. Now if you follow my instructions, you will get the perfect crackling. Now what I like to do when it's a rack like this is I put my knife underneath and peel the crackling off like that. That looks fantastic. Now you throw this away and just, no you don't. What you need to do now is between the bone here, I run my knife all the way down here like that and peel it off. Look at the pork. It looks moist and succulent, juicy, tender. It's going to be outstanding and cooked to perfection. When you get it to 72 degrees on the center here, I use a digital thermometer every single time. It comes out exactly like this. Perfection. Pop that on top there like that. All I need now is a little bit of gravy on here, or red wine jus as we like to call it. And I've got something very special. I've got my Island Harvest Tasmania cherry chutney for ham. And I'll let you in on a little secret. It's not just for ham. You can use it for everything. And I love it because it's got a little bit of sourness, and these are specific Tasmanian cherries. Had the right amount of sourness and they're picked at the right time. And of course, a little bit of crackling on top. That looks fantastic. And of course, we need to make it look even prettier, a little bit of garnish on there. And that is a cracking little dish. Island Harvest Tasmania, a lot of love and even more yum.